This will be my second year doing this, but it is finally time to prepare for the 24 days of granny squares. Last year was the first time I ever did this, and it was because I didn't think ahead and I didn't get any like yarn crocheting type of advent calendar. And then that kind of got me thinking, well, that's a lot of money to spend on an advent calendar for more yarn, and I have a lot of yarn, so why not do something that is kind of like a stash busting project? And that's what this is. But it's really simple. It's just picking yarns that you like from your yarn stash, and every day we roll some dice. The dice chooses the colors, and we make a granny square. This year I wanted to do something different, and I wasn't entirely sure what that was, so I went to the one place that I knew that I could always find inspiration, and that is this video's sponsor, Craftsy. If you haven't heard of Craftsy before, they are an amazing online resource for all things creative, whether you want to learn a new hobby or brush up on skills you already have. Craftsy has over 2,000 classes to choose from. Classes such as knitting, crocheting, sewing, baking, embroidery, weaving, and even woodworking. You can even take a class called Crochet a Made-to-Measure Granny Square Sweater by Brenda K.B. Anderson. If you take this class, you'll get bonus downloadable PDF resources and access to class Q&A. They teach through instructional videos taught by talented and friendly experts. Their professional instructors walk you through each technique with step-by-step demonstrations, providing their expert tips and tricks. As a member, you'll have access to Craftsy's live streaming tutorials where their expert instructors share their tips, answer questions, and engage with the Craftsy community in real life. Craftsy is always creating new classes to keep you coming back for more and help you stay inspired. Scan the QR code on screen or use the link in my description to get the first full year of Craftsy Premium membership for only $1.49. This offer is valid for new members only. In this video, I will be picking out my yarn, I'll be numbering my yarn, I will be writing down the colors of the yarn. I'm going to be doing all that prep work, so then you can see what I'm doing if you want to also prepare for this. Last year, I probably should have had the bag with me, and it's in the house. It was in here for the longest time, and then I brought it into the house a little bit ago, and my things are never where I need them to be. If I need them in the house, they're in the camper. If I need them in the camper, they're in the house. Yeah. Anyways, last year what I ended up doing was I did, I believe, a 3-colored granny square. So like 3 levels, 3 layers, 3 rows, however you want to say it. And then the 4th row was all black and it was a join as you go. And I think that was actually my first time I ever did join as you go. I ended up making a tote bag. Now, a lot of y'all that also participated, some of y'all made tote bags like me, others made other types of bags. A few people had made vests. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do. But this year I do have a little bit of a pattern. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, okay? That's all I'm saying. But I do have a pattern for this year, and I wrote it down. My friend Sandra, she made this gorgeous blanket out of like all these different types of squares, and some of them were big, and some of them were small, and some of them were little tiny ones. It just looks so cool, and I would love to make a blanket like this. That is what I want to do, but I want to make like a smaller section, kind of like almost like a lap blanket, or maybe just a blanket that you would put over the top of a sofa, or maybe the end of your bed. At this moment in time, 2025, who knows where I'm going to be or what I'm going to think of in 2026. But I would love this to be like an annual blanket that I add on to. This year I do a section. Next year I do another section, and it keeps going until I'm done with the blanket. This is going to be a little different this year. Some squares are only going to have 2 colors, and other squares, 1 square, is going to have 10 colors in it. I drew this up yesterday. This is what I'm going to be doing this year. Now, don't worry. This is going to be a free pattern, and it's not really even a pattern. I just kind of mapped out the grid here, and like down at the bottom is like the different sizes that corresponds to like here as well. Each number represents the day of the month in December for the 24 days. And then, you know, it's an advent calendar, so it only goes up to 24 days. But what I'm going to do is I am going to post a photo of this here, like a good photo. I'm gonna post a good photo here on YouTube so you can take a screenshot of it. Also gonna post this in my highlights reel on my Instagram and on my Patreon. I'm also gonna post this on Patreon in like the free category. Normally I don't really post anything in the free category because everything is like patterns and stuff like that, but this will be in the free category if you want to download it. That way, wherever you are, or however you want to like get this image, if you want to follow along with my pattern, you'll be able to for free. You don't have to pay for this. So this is the 24 days of granny squares. This is going to be a long rectangular piece, and like I said, it would be nice if every year, if I remember and if I'm still into this next year, I do another section and I keep adding on, because this is not going to be a join as you go. I'm going to be sewing them together, which I'm not a fan of, but it's going to happen. First off, I just want to show you an example of a granny square. It's not the best granny square. It is from the Red Heart All-in-One granny square, and as you can see, like, some colors didn't want to cooperate. But that's fine. I just wanted to show you what a granny square is if you don't already know what a granny square is. But I feel like if you watch my channel, you probably know, because I make these a lot in my projects. This year, instead of just doing the same square for all 24 days, which was just 3 colors, like 1, 2, 3, each day might be a different size. Because some days I have 2 of the same sizes together, some days I have 3 of the same sizes together. It just all depends on how it laid out on my pattern. So I have 5 different squares. At the bottom here, I see how many rows per granny square. So if you look at the first square, it is a green color, and the green color means that there is going to be 2 rows or 2 colors in that square. If you look over at day 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, those days you're only going to be rolling for 2 colors. Now, if we go over to the next one, which is the blue square, that means that there's going to be 4 colors. So like day 5, 8, 9, those rolls, you're going to be rolling for 4 colors. The next one, we have an orange square, and that means that there is going to be 6 colors to roll for, and that is actually day 1. Why did I put a lot of colors on day 1? I don't know. Next is the pink square. This one here, you're going to have 8 colors in this granny square. And the last one, which is the biggest square out of all of them, and I only did 1 square for this because that's a lot, is 10 colors in that square. And luckily that's day 11, pretty much right in the middle of the month. And then after that, there's a bunch of easy days. So as you can see, like 11, that's a lot of crocheting for 1 day for a square, but then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 5 days in a row, you're only going to be rolling for 2 colors. It will be okay. You can use this pattern if you want to. If you want to make up your own pattern, if you want to do your own project, that's perfectly okay. I just really like this, and I always feel that if I'm doing it, maybe somebody else also wants to do it. So I thought just making the grid and posting it and letting y'all use it as well is a good idea. If you want to participate in this, I will be having the hashtag 24 days of granny squares, and I did use this hashtag last year. I think what I do is I end up making a little video every single day for this, and then once a week I make a big video of all of it together and kind of go over what colors I got that week, and I'll post it on my YouTube. These are my dice that I'm going to be using this year. I bought them, I think, about 2 years ago, and I bought them because they look like Stranger Things. I picked the most Stranger Things looking dice because in Stranger Things there's a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and what do you use in Dungeons and Dragons? D&D dice. These are the dice that I'm going to be using. I'm actually only going to be using this one dice because, or one die, because it has 20 sides on it, and I'm going to be picking 20 colors. Now, I do want to say you don't have to use dice if you don't want to. If you just want to use a regular dice like you know, the 6-sided dice, if you don't even want to use dice and you want to do like write all the colored yarn on pieces of paper and then draw from a hat every day, maybe you just want to put all your yarn in one big bag and then just pull one out randomly for each color. Whatever you want to do, totally fine. I just like using the dice because it's very convenient, and all I have to do is just roll it and it will pick the number and I'm good to go. Yeah, so I'm just going to be using the 20-side dice for this project. Another thing that I am going to be doing different this year is I'm actually just going to be sticking to one color palette. And what I mean by that is last year I did all yarns. Okay, I did all the yarns in my yarns. This year, I kind of want to just make it more me. And I think everybody knows me, I love my warm tones. So I'm going to be sticking with warm tones this year. I'm actually going to be adding in some like beiges and some browns in there. Last year, I didn't put any browns or whites or black in there. Well, I didn't do black just because it was my join as you go color, but I didn't do any browns in there because I wanted it to be more colorful. Last year, I ended up doing cool tones and warm tones, but this year, I just kind of want to do warm tones. What I did last year was I had 2 dice. So I had one dice that told me if I was going to do a cool tone or a warm tone, and then I had the big old boy, the big D&D dice to tell me what color out of each one that I did. I think I did odd numbers was warm tones and even numbers was cool tones. And so if I rolled a 1, I would have to pick a warm tone color from 1 to 20 because the D&D dice has 20 sides on it. And so I would have to pick 20, meaning I had 40 colors that I could have gotten. I'm just gonna do warm tones this year, so I will be only using the one dice, and that is the big boy. I don't know about anybody else, but when it comes to making granny squares, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what colors I should pick. Do these colors look good? Am I making the right decision? Hence why I kind of love the red heart all-in-one granny squares, because I don't have to make that decision. I just have to pick a ball of yarn that I like, and it does its own thing. And that's the fun thing about 24 Days of Granny Squares, is because the dice picks the colors for you, and you got no choice. Another thing that I am going to be doing the same as last year is that no two colors can be in the same square. Two colors can be touching each other if they're in different squares, but I don't want the same color in the same square. So say if I roll a 2, if I roll a 2 again, I'm not going to use that again. I'm going to re-roll, if that makes sense. I remember last year this one comment stuck with me this whole time, and someone was like, well, why would you put those two squares together? They look the same. And it's just like, that's the point of the 24 Days of Granny Squares, is I don't pick the colors. So the dice is going to pick the colors. I am not in charge of the colors. The only time that I'm going to step in and mediate over the colors is if the same color has been rolled a second time. That only happened last year, I think once or twice, and it was on like the 2 last days of the challenge. This was last year's project, and every day I would roll 3 colors, and then at the very end I did a join as you go method in the black yarn. I always think granny squares look so good with a black border. So this was day 1, so I did day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then I went this way, and then I went this way. I went like this, and then this was the last day. I've used this bag a lot. I really like it. I did a scallop edge on it, and on the inside I actually found this granny square fabric, which was at Len's Mill, and I think they still have it. These are the 2 squares that person commented on. Yeah, I get that they're the same, but they're also different. This was day 13, this was day 14, this was day 15. So day 14 and 15 obviously go next to each other, so the squares had to go next to each other. But yeah, so this was last year's project. I think it turned out really, really cute. I really love this bag, but I just wanted to do something different for this year. I guess it's time to pick out the colors, and then we're gonna number them, and then we're gonna write them in the book, and then we're gonna be good to go. The current date is November the 15th, so I still have 2.5 weeks-ish before this even starts, but it's good to prepare. Also, what's gonna be nice is I'm not gonna have so much yarn in my room like last year. Last year I had 2 bags full of yarn that I had to keep in my room because I wasn't gonna come out here every time I needed to roll for the day. So I only have to have 1 bag in my room this year, which is gonna be good. Let me go and get that yarn and bring it in here, and we will go through it.
5 minutes later.
I'm back with the yarn. Now, is this all of my warm colored yarn? No, I really need to sort through it again, and I'm really bad at doing that, so bear with me. Anyways, I have a tote, and I have this bag full. Also have brown, but that's in its own container now. I kind of want to stick with a theme, like a color palette, so I think what I'll do is I'll take out all the yarn that I want, and then go through it and pick the 20 that I think will look the best together. I'm gonna pick out the yarn that I know I want. I feel like that's the same, so we'll just pick this one. Some of them still have their numbers from last year. What I ended up doing was I took an elastic band and I got these little square pieces of paper. Don't know where they are this year. I think I might just use Post-it notes. I got a lot of Post-it notes for some reason. I have this one. This one's different. This one's called Big Twist, but I really, really like this one, so I want to add that one into it. This one's a little too... Okay, well, maybe not. I'm gonna probably pick a bunch that are like the same color, and then I can go over it again and pick the colors that I want. It's gonna probably be a lot of pinks and oranges. This yellow one, I think it was the same yellow as this, but I might not use it. I'll have to see. This one was number 20 last year. Look at this. I love Pound of Love, but if you don't wind it up and you don't use it all, this is what happens to it. Ooh, this one's nice. I do want a white. This is like an off-white. It's the Pound of Love antique white. I'm fine with that, but I don't want like a bright white for this. I think that might be it for in here. Oh, I feel like there's just a lot to go through. All right, so I'm gonna put out all of the yarns. these are the colors right now. I just put them in piles because I know I probably picked a lot of the same color twice, and so I really kind of want to just pick colors that I think are going to look good and then go from there. I think from here, I'm going to narrow it down, and then that way I can put the yarns that I don't want back in the bin, put the bin away, and grab the other 2 bins of yarn. So the 1 bin of yarn has like this thicker type of yarn. It's like this. I think it's called like an Aran weight yarn, whereas this is a worsted weight yarn. There's still a 4 medium weight yarn, but the Aran one is just a little bit thicker, and I think I want to use them. The reds. I like all of these. Maybe this red might be a bit too bright. I don't know if I want to go more muted or if I want to go bright. If I'm gonna have to pick a red, I'd rather pick this red than this one. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. I do like this one, and I like this one. Those are 3 different reds. From the oranges, I think they're all the same, but I'll just take that out. Those 2 are the same, so I'll take that out. I think this one might be a bit too punchy, so I think I'm going to nix that one because it's too bright, even though like I did have a number on it. Yellows, I really like this one, and I like this one more than I like this one. This one's too bright, so we're gonna get rid of that one. So I'm gonna go with this one. I like this one. This one, I think again is too bright. I think I wanna go more muted colors. I like this one more than this. These ones, I just have 2. They're the same color, but just in case I use a lot of it, I want a spare one, and I will be picking this one because I like it. I think out of all these pinks, I'm just gonna go with this one. These 3 are just too bright. How much do I have right now? So these are the colors. At this moment, I still have more colors to pick from, and I might nix some colors. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's not as many colors as I thought I had. So I found more yarn. I decided that I do want a light pink in here, and I think this one's really pretty because it's like a baby pink, and I think it will look good. And then I did decide to go with another yellow. I like this one because the other pastel yellow one, it just wasn't it, but I think this one's gonna look good. Count these one more time and make sure that there's no doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh no, I only need 20. I'm thinking of 24 days. I only need 20, so actually I need to get rid of 3 colors. Okay, now I think I have 20. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, here are my 20 colors. I think they look all really good together. It's also kind of nice that I don't have to do the cool tones. I think this is gonna look so good. One of these colors might be used a whole ton, and some of them might not even be used at all. It just all depends on how the dice wants to roll. I just need to get some Post-it notes, which I have somewhere, and a pen, and then I have to write them all down in a notebook. This book I bought last year, and the first thing I wrote in it was the Granny Square Advent Calendar from last year. So this is going to be for organizing the colors. We're going to say this is number 1. And this color is cherry. I'll also put loops and thread. Okay. This one here still has the number from last year, so we're just gonna keep it. If there's a number on it, I'm gonna keep it. So this is 14. We'll say baby pink. And this one was Craft Smart. I've lined them all up in order. This is the color palette I'm going to be working with. I think they're going to look really good together. I didn't want to do anything that was too bright because I did have some like bright pinks that were a lot brighter than this. They were too fluorescent neon, and I kind of wanted everything to be just a little bit more subtle. This here is my color palette that I'm going to be working with for the 24 days of Granny Squares 2025. I have the colors all picked out. I have them all numbered. I have them ready to go. I have my little plan, my little chart. I got my dice. I am really excited to start this year's little blanket. I think it is such a great idea, and I hopefully want to do this every year so I can just keep adding on to the blanket, and then eventually when the blanket is big enough, I'll just make another one. That's what I kind of like about blankets, is you don't really need to finish them right away. You can just kind of like take your time with them, and if it takes me a few years to get this one done, it takes me a few years to get this one done, but it is a fun project, and I love doing this project every year, especially with my yarn community, because it kind of gets everybody involved. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. It's just a stash busting project, so you're just using all your scraps of yarn. And you know what? If you want to go out and buy new yarn for this, like, go ahead, no judgment. I just need to get rid of this yarn. I need to use it up somehow, and that's why I love doing this video. And what's so funny is a lot of this yarn that I picked was the same yarn, and it still had the same number on it from last year. So it's kind of neat to see what I actually used this year, if I got any new yarn. And honestly, looking at the yarn that I picked for this year, not a lot of it is new. I think maybe just like a handful of colors, but a lot of it is just been in my stash for years. So it is really nice stash busting my yarn, because it needs to happen. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be participating. Are you going to be following the pattern that I gave you? Are you going to be doing your own pattern? Do whatever you like. I just think it's a great way to use up your yarn. Again, use the hashtag 24 days of granny squares if you're going to be posting it up on Instagram, because I loved seeing everybody's squares last year. I thought it was so fun that like more people like got involved. It wasn't just me. I thought it would just have been me and my sister, but the amount of people that actually participated was amazing. Also, the very last video of the year is going to be on January the 27th. That is a Saturday. I upload on Saturdays, and that's going to be the overall review of the 24 days of granny squares, going over the colors I used the most, the colors I used the least, what it actually looks like, as well as showing y'all's projects. So I did this last year as well. I asked if you had finished your projects, or even if you just finished your squares, or you did whatever squares you got around to. I showed them in the video, so you know that everyone else can see everybody's projects. I think that is such a great idea. I absolutely love seeing what y'all make and like what colors you come up with, because no two of these blankets will be the same. Everyone has different yarns. Everyone will roll a different numbers. Yeah, so if you definitely want to participate, use the hashtag 24 days of granny square on Instagram, you know, and then that way I can see your projects. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.